What's going on, fam? It's your boy Calvin, and this is the Holistic Christian, where we have Bible lessons and conversation. And today I got a very special guest, my brother, none other than Minister Barry Hamilton. What's going on, brother?
What's up, brother?
Ain't nothing to it. So today, man, let's have a little conversation. I guess it'll be a little Bible lesson too. But last night we were having a group discussion, and we were talking about the first murder to take place in Scripture. None other than Cain and Abel. And when we had this conversation, there was something that just jumped off the page. I believe you actually brought it up about the exits, the detours, the opportunities that Cain had to get it right.
Yeah.
What made that jump? Well, how did that jump off the page to you, man?
I think the first thing I seen was actually you mentioned it, where God was talking directly to Cain, right? God having a conversation. This is the time where God is talking directly to somebody. Come on. It's not something that was, and when you get to the New Testament, God ain't talking to everybody.
No.
Right?
No.
But here he's talking directly to Cain, saying, "Hey, man, what you doing?
Puppy breaks.
Like, what you doing? Why you so angry? Why you upset?
Right.
You don't have to be. I can bless you too. But don't take this exit off of where I'm trying to get you to go to do what you thinking about doing.
Right.
Right. And then what I seen later on in the text, and we in Genesis 4.
Right.
What I seen later on in that text was that Cain still doing what he was going to do, but he went and talked to his brother first. So in that, when you think about that, if you go and have a conversation with somebody, you should be able to have a cooler head and make a rational decision.
Right.
So there was yet another opportunity to say, you know what? I don't need to kill my brother. This ain't going to be right.
Right.
Maybe there's another way. Maybe I need to do
another way.
Something else. So for me, it was like you had these opportunities to not go the way you went. And in that, you still did it anyway. And what I pointed out last night was that he acted in those impulses. And rather than act on impulse, if we just take a moment to receive what it is that we're being given, that conviction that's coming in and say, hey, don't do this.
Right.
That Holy Spirit inside that's going to tell you, hey, this ain't the right thing to do.
Right.
However you want to phrase it, I know what it is. I know it's the spirit inside of you, but you want to call it intuition. You want to call it, I got a gut feeling, whatever it is you want to put it as. You have these opportunities to say, I don't want to do this.
Let me go that way.
So that's what was really getting me last night, was all these chances, man.
Yeah.
And we get all of these chances to not, like you said, if you're a young person, your parents are telling you, hey, don't do this.
Right.
There are rules set up that say, hey,
for a reason,
don't do this. And yet, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's kind of where Cain was. I hear you, but I'm going to do it anyway. I related to that because I can remember times where that was my attitude. I'm going to do it anyway.
I know better. I know best.
And yet and still.
This video is brought to you in part by the Holistic Christian Community, our free community on Facebook, where we have daily devotionals, weekly Bible studies, and daily encouragement words. My brothers and sisters, if you are going through and you're looking to grow in your faith, to grow in your walk with Christ, to get a deeper understanding and become holy, all in Christ, join our community. The link is in the bio, completely free. And for people that join our community, you actually get two free gifts. One, you get our free ebook, as well as a free clarity call. Those perish from a lack of vision. So let's make sure that your vision is crystal clear. See you on the inside. So for me, man, it was, like you said, it was that first one. Like God is literally speaking to him. And for me, I said it last night, it's like Cain had the opportunity to be the first prophet. Like God said, and then he relayed the message. God said and then he did. God said and then he went. But God said and then he went contrary. Like he literally flipped the script and was like, nah, that sound good.
But something else.
But you act like he the favorite.
You
know what I mean? Like a lot of times with relationships, or the downfall of a lot of relationships, is the fact that you feel that someone's winning. Someone is a favorite. Someone's getting over on you. When in a real relationship, a healthy relationship, I phrase it like that because there's a lot of different type of
right.
And a healthy relationship, I remember pastor told me, he said, in a marriage, a real relationship, a marriage, is that it shouldn't be a competition. It should be you trying to outlove one another. If you're gonna compete in that.
That's good.
Like outloving one another. So it's not so much about, oh man, with Cain and Abel, we still on them. Let me celebrate you.
Yeah.
Like Cain could have been like, okay, yeah, mine won't accept it, but yo, bro, congratulations. Like, yo, what did you do? Like, how did you get there? What steps did you take to make the team? Right? But a lot of time envy jumps in, and now it's, you think you better than me because you made the team and I didn't.
Right.
And instead of collabing, having a conversation, chopping it up, seeing what steps you took so that I can take those steps, I'm just going to look at you and project what I'm feeling.
It's rather than understand what they did versus what you did. Right? And in that moment, you know, if you go back in the beginning of that chapter where Abel is saying what he's giving in worship to God, he's giving his first fruits, he's giving his first and his best.
That description.
Right. Versus Cain just giving stuff from the earth, from the ground. Right. Ooh. And it was very specific. I mean, what the Bible said was very specific, and the difference is that Abel also brought of the firstling, of his flock and the fat thereof, and the Lord respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and his offering he had not respect, because what Cain did was Cain brought the fruit of the ground. So the language in there is completely different. Ooh. Cain brought the fruit. Abel brought the firstling of his flock and the fat thereof. He did more. So in that comparison thing, right, you're comparing something that they did when you should just be looking at, hey, what didn't I do enough of? What didn't I bring enough of? What didn't I present in a way that showed that I put you on the worship high pedestal that I should, God? Not, man, he did something, I don't like what he did. Right. When I was talking about it last night, it's like you see somebody at work, right? And they are killing it. They're getting promotions and they're getting lifted and elevated. And you started out doing the same job. Yeah. But you see them growing, and you see them growing faster and better and bigger than you are, but you're still sitting in the same spot wondering why that is. But why that is have you put in the same work they put in?
Come on.
Have you put in the same effort and put the same time and energy into what you're doing like they did? Because they didn't get it because they just was going to get it. Right. And I'm using the work example because I know people, and people, well, what about the people that, just get stuff because they know somebody? Cool. I'm not talking about those people. Those are those one-off situations. I'm talking about those people work hard. Right. That you see doing their job every day.
They know they come in. Mile.
They come in early. They stay late. They put in the effort to do more. Abel put in the effort to do more. Woo. Cain just wanted to get by. If you are a want to get by kind of person, you probably going to fall on that envious side of things. Right. But if you are somebody who's going to put in the work, put in the effort, then you probably going to be looked at more like Abel. And then the question comes, who you want to be more like?
Come on. Now, what you read, brother, it just jumped out to me because it said he brought the firstlings, right? Was that tithe, right? He brought that tithe. But what on top of that, said he brought the fat thereof. So that don't mean he bought even the whole animal, the whole sheep or the whatever, he had to take some time. He had to take some effort to pick the right one. Then cut and take the particular parts that God had a desire for.
That's it.
To lay on that altar. Because it don't come till later on in Leviticus where we find out, oh, you're supposed to do this, you take that. How you get these instructions? Did he see God? Did he ask God? Right? He got the instructions, he got the direction because he took the time to find out, well, Lord, what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? He took the firstlings and the fat. And if we go into Leviticus, that's what it tells. It's the fat that's burnt. It's burnt. And you think about it. Yeah, I know my brother, he don't eat meat. But check this out. Most people don't like the fat.
They don't.
Most people don't like the fat.
They cut the fat and throw it to the side.
They too much fat on this. Take that off. Right? But the fat is what gives the meat its flavor. The fat is where the nutrients and the flavor and the taste and the if it's beef, oh, that's beefy beef. It got that fat that rendered. It rendered just right to give that meat or that steak that flavor, right? But if you take all that fat off, you take the fat away from whatever you cooking, right? What you cooking in, now it start to get bland. It start to get bland. There ain't no flavor. There's no taste. Well, there's sweet savor. There is none. There is none. Now you got to start putting all this other stuff in it. And you make it soup now. But to take that fat, man, and think about, why don't we, or most people want the fat? Is it subconscious that we know it belongs to God? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I ain't getting too deep, but just think about that though, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it subconscious, like, this don't belong to me? It's his. But that's what Abel did.
That's what Abel did.
He gave God what was his. And Cain, like you say, he just grabbed some fruit.
Grab whatever he could.
Little veggies. I got this from the ground. It didn't say he went through and degraded them and brought the best. He didn't say he brought the choice.
Nope.
He didn't say he got the Wagyu potatoes. I know you know about them, right?
Wagyu potatoes. Yeah. There ain't no wrong with the Wagyu potato.
But like you said, the language is so different. And it goes to show you that everything matters in the text. Because it gleans a deeper insight. It shows a new truth, not even a new truth, a deeper understanding when we look at it. Not just simply reading the word,
right,
but ask ourselves, what is God saying?
What is he saying?
What is he saying to me today?
That's good.
But man,
and
go ahead.
So, and I know we stand on these same particular verses, and it's not on purpose, and I promise I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna come right back.
Go with it.
Because it's also, this is like this is the first tithe, right?
Yeah.
But here's the point out about that tithe, right?
Come on.
Abel brought the firstling of his flock. That's his tithe,
right?
And
come on,
and part.
Come on with
that's the offering. See, as a church, you know, we think that we paying this tithe and we not paying a thing. We're giving God what He's due, but in addition to that, we need to give more. And that's where sometimes we as a church
we fall short.
We fall short because we will tithe, or we'll reluctantly tithe, but we won't offer.
Oh, wow!
Or we'll offer, but we won't tithe. See, and that's what Cain did. He offered, but he didn't tithe. He offered.
Oh,
Here's,
man.
I'm gonna offer you this little stuff I got left, but he didn't tithe. So you gotta do both.
Right.
God respected what Abel did.
Yeah.
Because he did both. He gave his first and then he offered, and that's where the language of how they structured what it says in this word is the first and. But Cain, I'm just giving a little something. So when I looked at
off the ground,
at the neck at the off the ground at that, but when I look at the rest of that verse in 4, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering. Why? Because he gave me tithe and offering.
Oh,
so I'm sorry. That's my
come on, Go ahead.
soliloquy about offering and tithing and how we should do it.
Right.
This was the first example of both. I'm offering and
Right.
tithing versus just I'm gonna give this offering, because again, you see what the offering got. What just offering got Cain. It didn't garner respect.
Nope.
It didn't get him what he thought he was
Right.
due, like Abel did. So when you at church, and I've been known to toe step, so let me be very tread different when I'm saying this. If you at church and you seeing somebody getting blessed over and over and over again, and you see God's favor in their life, and He's just continuing to provide and give provision, and then you sitting over here and you kind of just getting by, and you like, where my blessing at? Where my this at? Are you doing the Cain offering? Or are you doing the Abel tithing offering?
Come on.
Are you giving God everything, or you just, hey man, I got what the young lady say last night? I got these radishes. I'm gonna drop these radishes off.
Not the radishes.
I'm gonna drop you. Maybe you can do some with these radishes, because I don't really use these. Right? I don't use these radishes. I don't really like cabbage, so I'm gonna give you this little cabbage too,
Little
right?
cabbage.
Because I don't like that particular thing, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what and it don't say that, but that's what I got from what
Yeah.
Cain did. He gave him, I'm gonna give you what I don't really want.
Yeah. If I'm giving the leftovers, matter of fact, I'm giving you the crust. I ain't even giving you the whole piece of bread. I'm not giving you the loaf. I'm just gonna give you the crust around the edges. I'm giving you the part that's a little bit burnt that I ain't really gonna eat anyway. Here's yours. Now, the thing is, God said, well, you know, if you do right, you'll be accepted. You know you'll be accepted.
Yep.
And warned them and said, sin not, because sin is waiting for you at the
Waiting
door.
at the door. Yep.
I know I harped on this last night.
Yeah.
But if God is talking to you, if you are getting this word and you are getting a warning, take heed. Take heed. Don't play. Because it's far too long. We make God so common.
Yes.
We make God so common. We make a word from God so common. But on the same hand, when somebody say a prophet in town, people go run. I gotta go see the prophet.
God got a word for me through the prophet.
But when God got a word for you in the text, you ain't running to that. When God got a word for you every Sunday with your pastor, you ain't gonna run for that.
That's good.
Like, God got a word for you, but you ain't paying attention. God had a word for me today. I broke my ankle. My wife told me, said, you don't need to go out there. It's too slick. You just stay on home. Just stay home. I said, well, I'm a ride. I'm a ride. I'm gonna get out there. That's what I said. I ain't even gonna hold my boot up. But
What she tell you? Stay
man,
home.
she said, just stay home. Said it was raining the other night, last night. Just stay home. I said, I'm gonna wait a little bit, let it warm up. It'll be all right. I ride about 10:30. 10:30 won't late enough.
No, 10:30.
It won't late enough.
10:30 ain't work.
It really didn't
The
work.
ankle said it ain't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. The X-ray said it didn't work. But that's the thing. When there's a word, let us take heed.
Yes.
Let us take heed, man. Like it's too easy to just take word. It's just so easy. Why don't we just take the word? I said, take my word for it. But there was another detour. He said he stopped. He had a conversation with his brother.
And Cain talked with Abel, his brother.
That's a relationship.
That's verse 8. And Cain talked with his brother. So it didn't say Cain ran up on Abel and killed him.
No, he ain't sneak attack him.
And it came to pass. So after we talked, then Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. So in this conversation, and again, the Bible doesn't go into specifics about the conversation, so I don't want nobody to say, oh, he's putting words in the Bible. No, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying it says he talked to his brother.
Yeah.
He had a full-on conversation about whatever they talked about
Yeah.
prior to him killing him. So in that, Not one time did it come into his mind and say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this. God told him in the previous verses, sin is at your door.
At the door.
It's waiting on you.
Wait.
And what Cain decided to do, instead of leave sin at the door, he opened it.
He said, come on in.
Come on in. So when you're looking at yourself, are you leaving that door closed or are you opening that door? Because opening the door is going to lead to doing something that you should not be doing.
Come on. All right, so I'm going to get more specific. So what he said, don't open that door. If you know you got a problem with lust, come on. If you got a problem with being faithful, stay home. Don't go to the club. If you know you can't handle yourself when you watch inappropriate things, don't watch inappropriate things. If you know that if you drink a little something, just a little something, now you're going to be out here in the streets fighting and fussing, don't open the door. If you know that it's right there, if you have a family history, you have a lineage of it, you have a history yourself of struggling or dealing or fighting a thing, don't even play with it. Don't open the door. Because if you open the door, trust me, it's going to be on the couch. It's going to be in the bedroom.
Trouble coming.
It's going to be all over the house. And it's... They had a conversation. And like I said, I ain't want to add no words or say what was what. But he talked to God anyway. I could only infer or guess that he got conviction. And he ain't like it. What is it? He got his toes stepped on.
They did.
And instead of repenting, instead of correcting, instead of changing and shifting his mindset and going the way God told him or had a desire for him to go, he was offended. Offense came in and he slew his brother. The first murder in scripture, the first murder in history, from offense, from envy, from jealousy, from sin. Don't let offense mess you up. If you have an offense, a problem, have a conversation with your brother. And if you can't have a conversation with your brother or your sister, bring a third party in. Counseling, conversation. It's a process. Everybody don't get to hear exactly what they want to hear. But you get an opportunity to hear truth. And that's why you get that third party in, because somebody might be lying. Right?
And make that unbiased third party.
That
ain't got
come on.
That don't have a horse in the race.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to hear you, and I'm going to tell you what I hear from both of you.
You saying my moms can't be my third party?
No, your mama can't be your third party. Your best friend can't be your third party.
Check that out.
Your brother, your sister, anybody tied to you should not be your third party.
That's right.
Because their alliance and allegiance is with you.
Ooh, come on.
Versus, let me bring somebody in. That's Bible. You got to talk with your brother. You take it to your brother. Y'all can't work it out. You go get somebody and bring them in. That if it still don't work, you take it to the church. And if it all else fail, wipe your hands. But and just.
Go.
Lost me. I just lost my thought there, because he was talking about at the door and not opening the door, and the things that can come from opening the door. But in that, where did the message came from? Open the doors from God, right? And I was thinking about it as you was talking, because we said he talked to his brother. That conversation was worthless.
Woo!
Because the source of everything that you have and are,
come on,
spoke to you.
So,
and I said that, I'm bringing that up to say,
man,
if God has told you a thing, there's nothing else to be listened to at that point. You need to listen to that and that alone, because you're going to have a conversation with somebody else. For what?
A lot of times, people are, I ain't even going to say a lot of times, people are addicted to waiting for confirmation.
Ooh.
Addicted to waiting for confirmation. If God already told you a thing, what you waiting for? Who you waiting? Who you waiting on?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have, let me talk to so-and-so and have them pray about it and see if I can get some confirmation from over here, over there, over there. If God said it, why ain't you moving? But see, all the faithful brothers in the scripture, what they say? God said.
Straight way.
They went straight way.
Mm-hmm.
Straight way they went. Straight way he did. Then they went. Then they did. I'm just saying. What we waiting on? Because this, like you said, it was pointless.
He had already made the decision of what he was going to do, regardless of what God had told him to do. If you're in a position in life where you've already made a decision to do what you're going to do, regardless of what God said, you opening that door.
Oh.
You are opening the door to confusion, chaos, things not working how you think they should work. Every adjective used to describe foolishness.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing when you decided, even if God said it, I ain't gonna do it. Because he told him, listen, just do what you're supposed to do. You can still be right with me. You can still get these things. Just do this better.
And he said that he would rule over his brother if he did what was right. Because he would have held his brother. If you ain't gonna listen to God, you ain't gonna listen to nobody else anyway.
And at that point,
but yourself,
the conversation with Abel would be pointless. You going to talk it out. You already made the decision. What you gonna do?
He went to his brother to kill him, or he went to his brother for a whole nother conversation or a reason to do whatever, but he didn't go and do what God said. Because God told him just do what's right. Just do what's right.
So, in just that little bit, I got, when God speak, listen.
Come on.
Do what's right.
Come on.
Give my all.
Come on.
And not what I think I should give. Don't react to impulse.
Right. Because
impulse made me get upset. Impulse made me do something that I'm going to regret forever. If I can take all of them and then
let me add one more
add
piece.
one more.
And when you say give what's required, not what you want, not what you got, give what's required. Because a lot of time when it comes to education, when it comes to finances, when it comes to jobs and all that, a lot of us, we talk about all this extra thing. I did my best. Sometimes it's not your best. It's what's required. So I just want to throw that one on the list too. Go ahead, brother.
Sometimes your best ain't enough.
Woof. Woof.
Abel gave his first.
Come on.
And offered more. So sometimes your best, because it said he gave his first, he gave his best. And offering.
Then he gave the fat.
Then he gave the fat offer. So his best wasn't enough. He had to give more. So when you think you giving your best, give more. Don't stop at just your best.
Come on.
Give more.
Because, going to athletics, right? You don't know your limits. A student, a player, their limitation is right here. We can say, oh, you gotta do 100 push-ups or whatever. That I can only do 75. I ain't never been able to do with 75. But once you push to that limit, you find that breaking point, right? You break, you stop, but you go a little further. Then you find out what you thought was your breaking point was only a ceiling that was right there. We have to push past, and this just ain't a motivational speech, but you better take it as you get it. You have to push past what you think is a limit.
Yeah.
We have to push past. And this is the thing. It's not in ourselves. It's not in me. It's not in you. It's in trusting God that it's possible. More is possible.
It is.
More is possible. Because we was on that bike ride, that 100-miler, right? We just gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna make eye contact again. We did that 100-miler, right? And there was so many times I had hit my breaking point.
Mm.
But after the ride, matter of fact, I hit my first break, right, at like 54, cramp, crazy. Another around 68, cramp, crazy. Didn't think I'd be able to move when we stopped at 83, I believe, 83, 86. I was locking up. My body was locking up. I was hunched over walking to the little area so I can get some pickle juice, some pickles. I was eating mustard. I was eating everything. If it had salt in it, I was trying to get some electrolyte. I was drinking Gatorade, everything. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was.
Finally, yeah, it was. I heard that. Locked up. It eased off. We pushed. We did the 100. We finished strong. Right? Cramps, all that went away. Finished strong. We get the 100 miles and now we still riding around on the bicycle. Now we riding around like it ain't nothing. We just riding around. And it's like, because it was a challenge, because it was a limit that we hadn't broken, it was, oh man, it's so hard. We're pushing, we're grinding. But once it was broken, the seal was off. Then once the race was over, it was like, oh, it's just a leisure ride. It don't even matter. But we were still continuing.
Right.
Now I went all the way around there on that bike ride to tell you this. What you think is the limit. What you think is your best. What you think is all you can give. What you think is what's going to sustain. Now, I ain't telling you to give to everybody your whole check now. That ain't my message. What you think is it, there's more. There's more. And on the other side of that more is where that faith grows to a whole new level.
Yes, sir.
By trusting God. By trusting Him. Cain could have, this story would be completely different if Cain just went and did what God told him to do. Simple as that. This would have been a footnote, like, oh yeah, Cain and his brother, they offered, and then, Abel was accepted, Cain's wasn't. And then the Lord told him, hey, if you do right, you can be accepted and you can rule over your brother. And then Cain went. And he did what was right.
Yep.
He was accepted. And he was the first king. Or what, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like,
whole different. Ooh,
it would have been a completely different direction. Choices. Choices. The firstborn man. The first murderer. That was Cain. That ain't got to be your story, though. That ain't got to be your testimony.
Not at all.
What God say? Then go. You got anything, brother, you want to close them out with?
No, I like what you just said. That's a great close. Listen, if you just do what God said, imagine what your story could be.
Woof.
If you just do what God said, imagine what the end could be.
Yes.
But when you do what you want to do, look at Cain. But if you do what God said, there's no limit to what could be. There's no limitations on what God will do, can do, has done, if you just do what He said.
Absolutely.
So, if you take nothing else away from us,
right,
do what God said.
Just like that. So, that was it. First episode, we back, y'all. We back again. Holistic Christian. We ain't cut the noise, but you can cut that noise. We Holistic Christian. Bible lessons and conversations. Catch us. Lock in. Subscribe. All that good stuff. If you need some help, you need some support along your journey. Accountability. Hit the link in the bio. Get the information. Hope to see you soon. Till next time. Chill. In 10 days, I want to help 10 marriages. That's 10 leaders. That's 10 men that are ready to take charge and responsibility for the state of their union. As men, we set the tone. As men, we establish culture. But today, many of us rather play the game of happy wife, happy life. Instead of taking ownership of the disconnect, it's time for us to take ownership of our marriages, our household, our family, and our communities. But it starts with us. It starts If you're ready to take charge, ready to kill excuse, ready to carve out a clear path and create a plan, direction for you, your wife, and your family, click the link below and sign up. Our 5-day free one-on-one chat. Get unstuck, reset your marriage, and get back in alignment with God's will for your household. Forwards to see you on the inside. Let's get back to the video.